Now, I love training my dog. Absolutely love training my dog. But what I love more than that is playing with my dog, because I feel like it has so much value to it. So on today's episode, that is what we're going to talk about. The power of play and why you should be playing with your dog more than you are already. Let's dive into it next. Ooh, I am excited to talk about this one. This is a fun one for me, and that is because I love playing with my dog. I find that there's so much valuable stuff that can come from it, and we're going to talk about all of that in this week's episode. But before we do, I just want to introduce myself. If anyone out there is new listening, my name is Jake. Me and my wife, Jenny, own ondogtrainingacademy.com. It's an online dog training website. So if you're interested, if you want to check it out, I will put a link in the description below. You can certainly go in there, click on that link, see what we have to offer, see what we have going, and if any of it looks interesting to you, check it out. Jump into it. I'm telling you, the courses are going to be fun. If you've enjoyed listening to my episodes that I have been putting out, a lot of the format is similar, but there's so much more information in those courses. So check it out on ondogtrainingacademy.com. Sorry about that. Check it out, and if you want, hit that subscribe button on the top right-hand side on the website, and you will be in our email list where you will get updates on everything cool happening there. Also, make sure you head over to our Learn, Laugh, Bark Facebook page. This is also in the link below. I'll put that in the episode description, so you can click there and go right to it. There you are going to be able to tell me what you want me to talk about. I am trying to do more listener requested episodes because they are starting to come in more and more. But I have a huge list I can do on my own. But I do love talking about what you guys want me to talk about. That's why I'm here, to help you, educate you, entertain you, whatever it is. So if there's something specific you want me to talk about in the dog world, make sure it's in the dog world. Don't say, how do you bake a cake? I probably can't answer that for you. But something in the dog world, let's talk about it. So Learn, Laugh, Bark podcast on Facebook. Link is in the description. So we are going to now dive into this week's episode, the power of play. I mentioned this already probably twice, 3 times, whatever, and I'll probably say it more throughout this whole episode. I love playing with my dog. I feel like there is so much that a good, positive play session can do for you and your dog, and for everything. It's just everything, that it's something you should be doing. And if you're not doing it a lot, get out there and start doing it more. So let's first talk about why. Why is playing with your dog so important? Well, we'll hit the obvious one first. Exercise. Exercise through play is phenomenal. So I know people are like, well, I walk my dog. I take my dog for a walk, a mile walk every day, 2-mile walk every day, whatever. That's good exercise, but it's not play exercise. Play exercise is using totally different muscles than just walking. And you're burning so much more energy doing this because you're utilizing many muscles and not just the same muscles through walking. And plus, let's be honest, dogs have such awesome stamina that they probably will outlast us and won't be as tired. But through play, when they're running and juking and jumping around and stopping and cutting and doing all this stuff, they're using muscles that aren't maybe used as often, and it exhausts them even better. And it gets them even more fit. It'd be like if the only exercise I ever did were like curls or leg press or something. I might have like these awesome legs or something, and the rest of me just looks lacking. I mean, that's kind of what I am right now, but whatever. But that's the case. Is like if you're only using certain muscles, those are the muscles you'll develop. Using all the muscles develops all the muscles. So exercise, super important. Also, like I've mentioned in previous episodes, a tired dog is a good dog. So that exercise will tire them out, and it will definitely make them and you happy. So reason number one to go and play with your dog. The other one, and I actually think this one is very important, is training. You can utilize something your dog perceives as fun, which would be playing. Let's just take fetch, for example. You're playing fetch with your dog. Well, instead of just getting the ball from your dog and then chucking it for them, making them do something, make them sit down, heel, whatever it is you want them to do, come to you, because some dogs drop the ball and immediately run away. If you want them to do a stay or a wait or whatever, you're utilizing something they perceive as fun as training. Well, when you combined training and fun together, and especially through play, suddenly training becomes higher value, becomes more fun. So if your reward is, hey, sit for me and I will play ball, I will fetch with you, suddenly obedience becomes even more fun for your dog. So that training part of it, I think, is really important. Plus, I personally like to use toys and tugs and different things for my dog in replace of treats when I am doing training sessions. Not necessarily the whole session, but like if I'm working with treats early on in my training and I want to continue the training session, but I'm starting to see my dog's drive fall off a little bit, instead of pushing through that, I might go, you know what, let's switch it up. And instead of switching treats and getting a different treat, which might work, I flip over to a tug or a ball or something, and suddenly I watch my dog's eyes get huge, and my dog's like, oh my God, let's do this again. And it re-energizes, reinvigorates your dog, and makes your dog want to play and carry on longer through the training session. So it's a good way to be able to stretch your training sessions out a little bit longer by mixing in that play. You could even like mix it in and be like, hey, we're going to do like 3 exercises with treats, and then I'm going to do 2 exercises with ball, and you're mixing in your treats and your play to keep the dog guessing and keep the dog excited and energized. It's just great. So make sure, and again, this is something I think a lot of people maybe know to do, but maybe aren't doing enough. I sometimes think that people just go out, grab the ball, and start throwing it for their dog or play tug with their dog or do whatever, and they don't make their dog do anything, and they're missing out on opportunities to train your dog. And really, any opportunity to train your dog is a good one. So incorporate training into your play sessions, which might mean playing with your dog a little bit more, or just utilizing the sessions that you're already doing with play and incorporating training into it. The last one, and I think this one is so important. This is so, so important. This is the bond that comes through play. I mean, think about like your friends and things. What bonds you to your friends? When you think about your friends, or family's family, whatever. We're bonded to our family, but like think about friends. Now you could say, well, some of my biggest reasons I'm so bonded to some of my friends, or I have such a good relationship with my friends, is because of negative situations they help me get through. But when you really start to think about your friend or someone that you're in a big relationship with, you start to think of the fun things. Oh, that time you went and did whatever. Well, that's kind of the same when it comes to your dog. Your dog is going to bond with you more if you play more, if you do the things that your dog thinks is fun with them. Yeah, a dog can go in the yard and entertain themselves for a little bit. But when you involve yourself, suddenly that fun game is a fun game with you. And it puts that value and that relationship to you even higher. So I just think playing with your dog and just making it an awesome time, it increases relationship and bonding so much. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And dogs will be so much more willing to do things for you if they like you. So you might as well make yourself even more likable than you already are. Because, you seem like a likable person. so definitely, do that playing with them and increase that bond. An example I'll give you. So our dog, Luda, his real name is Ludacris. Yes, the rapper. Luda, we've done playing his whole life. And we've done playing with training. Everything I've talked about, we've been doing with Luda. But I also do a sport with him that involves putting on a bite suit. And he runs down and bites these guys that are called decoys. And he thinks it's the coolest game. He is not an aggressive dog. He thinks it's such a fun tug toy that honestly, I think that is probably the highest value toy he can play with, which is a person in a bite suit. And he thinks it's the greatest. His best friends are the helpers that put the suits on because they're willing to put the suits on. So when he was younger, I do this, so I put suits on for other people's dogs. But when he was younger and I was doing some training, and I still do it now, but this is when I really noticed it, I was doing some training with it. I'm like, hey, buddy, I'm going to put the suit on, and I'm going to work you in some exercises because at the time he needed to work on them. So I put the suit on, and he looked at me, and he goes, wait, you wear this thing? Like, he just had that look on his face. He's like, you wear this toy? And I worked him. I got done working with him, and he was tired, and I take the suit off, put it on the ground, and we're kind of cleaning up from our training and everything, and I get in the house with him, and I sit down on the couch, and he jumps on the couch next to me, and for the rest of the day was obsessed with me. Not in a bad way, but just in oh my God, I love you, you're the best thing that's ever happened to me way. So then, of course, we had my wife do it. We've had friends do it. And it is if you're willing to play with him with his ultimate toy, which is that suit, he's your best friend. And he loves you. And you can just see, I think our relationship, since the first time I did that with him, I think our relationship has been through the roof. This dog will work with me through anything and is willing to do anything. And so it's just amazing through that playing what that did for our relationship, because it was something that was his favorite thing in the world to do. I incorporated myself into it, and suddenly now I am one of his favorite things in the world to play with and interact with. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind with it. Now, the last handful of things we'll talk about here is kind of how. How are we going to play with our dog? Well, the big rule when it comes to playing with your dog is keep it appropriate. What I mean by keeping it appropriate, don't train your dog bad behaviors. Don't be like, hey, I'm going to run around. You're going to chase me and bite on my sweater. Haha, that's fun. It's fun till you either get bit or your dog does it to somebody else. You don't want to train, you don't want to play with your dog in a way that other people can't, or it might affect other people. Rolling around and wrestling with your dog, I'm okay with it, but put a toy in their mouth first. Because if you're just rolling around on the ground and the dog's biting at them, the likelihood they're going to do it to somebody else is pretty high, and you just don't want that liability of the dog biting somebody on accident, whatever. But we also just don't want bad behaviors like jumping. So this is where the training comes in. I don't let my dogs jump on me when I'm playing with them. We keep it appropriate to what the rules are. Play doesn't mean there's no rules. Play means we're going to have a really good time within the rules that we have in place. So keep that in mind. We don't want to train bad behaviors in play. So whatever your rules are in real life, quote unquote real life, you should carry over into play life. Don't bite me. Don't jump on me. Probably don't bark. That's up to you. That one I can leave onto your hands and what you decide you want to do with that. I just don't want my dog to learn habits that could possibly be a problem. The other one then is end your play session with your dog before your dog is trashed out tired. You want your dog to want more. Think about this in the sense of us. I love throwing human examples into this. So you're craving, and this is probably me I'm giving this example of, you're craving cake. And you finally get that cake. Now, could I eat half a cake? Well, I'd like to think I probably could. I don't know if that's a brag. That's probably not a brag. But I could eat a whole half a cake. But instead, I'm going to cut just a small little piece. Why? Because I don't want to get sick of it. I want to eat that small piece and be like, that was so good. Oh my God, I could eat a whole cake. As opposed to eating half the cake and going, oh my God, I overate. Oh, I did too much. Oh, cake sounds gross. Well, you want the same thing with play. You want play. You want to end it with your dog going, we could do more. We could do more. Instead of your dog going like, I'm tired of playing with you. It's lost its luster. Leave your dog wanting more. I do this in training too. Leave your dog wanting more so that next time you come out, it's still super exciting to come out and play and do more. So don't burn your dog out every time you're playing with them. It happens. Sometimes you just get like in a trance and you're just chucking the ball and you're doing different things and whatever. And before you realize it, you've thrown the ball, 700 times and your dog is absolutely exhausted. And you know what? And some people might go, you know what? My dog will play till they die. And trust me, I get it. There are a lot of dogs out there that would do that. So be careful too. Watch your dog. Like if you think your dog is starting to get to the point of like heat exhaustion, be done. You have to be done. We don't want to play so long, even if we're having a good time, where it starts to affect the dog in a health way or dangerous way. So throwing that in there too. But end your training before your dog is done with it. I love to do that. I'm like, okay, I'm done. See you later. And your dog's just like, well, let's do more. And I'm like, yeah, we'll do more later. That cake thing. I could probably eat a whole cake and like every single piece of the cake I eat if I do it over a longer period of time, as opposed to just trying to take the whole beast down in one sitting. Yes, and I know I went from half a cake to a whole cake. What can I say? I love cake. The next one then, this is the last one I'll end with you guys. Both parties, you and your dog, should somewhat enjoy what's going on. Your dog should totally enjoy what is going on. Your dog should enjoy the fact that they're playing with you. You should also be enjoying, to some degree, the game that is being played. Now, there are some people I've talked to where they're like, I just don't like doing this, but my dog really likes to do it. And because of their situation and because I think their dog and them really need to work on the relationship, I look at them and I go, deal with it. Deal with it. If your dog enjoys it and it's a safe, appropriate thing, even if you're not a fan, do it anyways. Like, let's take fetch. I keep going back to fetch, but it's a popular thing. Say you absolutely suck at throwing a ball. Like it is you throw it and it literally goes 10 feet. I can promise you, your dogs aren't judging you on your throwing ability. They just care that you have that thing and you're going to throw it for them. And they'll go get it if it's 10 feet or 100 feet. They'll go get it, grab it, bring it back to you, and want to do it again. That's the point of play. It's fun for them. So don't be like, well, I'm just not good at it. Who cares? Tug of war, well, the dog hurts my hand. Well, there's things you can do. You can teach your dog to give. You should. You can let the dog win. You can. You should. And so there's ways you can go around that. But, like, if it's fun for both of you, do it. Things that aren't fun, like if your dog enjoys jumping on you because that's a fun game for them, that's not a game to be playing because it's probably not fun for you. And it's not appropriate, going back to the first thing we talked about on the how. So keep that in mind. Like, yes, it should be fun for both of you. If it's not fun for you, if it hurts you, if it's something that makes you nervous or scared, stop doing it. But if it's something that you just are not completely comfortable doing, but your dog loves doing it, there should be a little bit of a suck it up buttercup kind of thing in there. And yes, I think I just called you buttercup. I'm okay. Well, hopefully, guys, that is going to be it. So hopefully this kind of inspired you to get out and play more with your dog, even though I think I just ended this episode by insulting you. Well, that's okay. But get out there, play with your dogs, engage with your dogs, and build that relationship. Tire them out, train them, but build that relationship. Make your dog think you are the most awesomest thing that has ever walked the face of this earth. And do that through playing with them, because it's worth it. It is so worth it. It is awesome when dogs think you're super cool. Someone needs to. At least in my eyes, I feel like, well, at least my dog thinks I'm cool. You guys probably don't, but my dog does. And really, in the end, that's kind of all that matters. So thank you guys for listening this week. Like always, you can jump over to our ondogtrainingacademy.com website. Check it out. See if there's anything there that excites you or makes you think, I might be interested. And, see if there's anything that you want to do. But guys, thank you for listening this week. And like always, we'll see you in the next episode.